Hi kids, today we're going to talk about primary growth of a plant. Now, primary growth of a plant refers to the elongations of its shoot and root, meaning that the roots of the plant grow deeper and the shoot of it grows higher. It is not about how wide the plant grows. Widening the plant is called secondary growth. Now, we are able to see the primary growth of the plant because it helps the plant to increase in height. The tissue which brings about the primary growth are called the apical meristems. This include the shoot meristems and the root meristems. Meristems are basically parts that are able to constantly do mitosis and constantly produce new cells. Now, let's look at this. This is the growth zones of a root tip. It is divided into zone of differentiation, zone of elongation, and zone of cell division. Okay, so if this was a root of a plant, basically what we're seeing is how the plant grows this way. And as this plant grows longer, the root grows longer, this part of course becomes more mature and cannot have any more primary growth. Instead, it will have secondary growth. So the top part here is the mature tissue, which is this part. Where does the growth start? So let's look at this. This shows a cross-section of the root tip. This is the phloem and this is the xylem. Now, what happens is at the zone of cell division, the cells divide rapidly by mitosis. In the case of the root tip, some cells are formed by the root meristem are used to replace the cells of the root cap. This is the root cap. The root cap is the outermost part of the root that is moist so that it can penetrate between the soil particles. Of course, there is a lot of wear and tear. It's kind of like the skin of your body. So there is always mitosis to replace the root cap. But of course, as you grow, not all mitosis is just to replace the skin. It is also for you to grow taller. Now, in case of the shoot tip, which we will talk about later, some of the cells are formed by the shoot to give rise of parts of the shoot that will grow leaves. The rest of the new cells that are produced by mitosis in the zone of cell division are for elongation. Elongation means the cells will grow longer. So over here, it's like they are baby cells. And when they reach this part, they will start to grow longer, to have more shape. How do they grow longer? This is done by absorbing water. Water is absorbed into the vacuoles, and this will increase the size of the cells. As you remember, plant cells have very large vacuoles. In the case of cell division and elongation, these zones still have undifferentiated cells, meaning that these cells have not decided what they want to do. They are not phloem, xylem, or any other cells. They can be differentiated into any cell. So the differentiation only starts as this part grows longer, and at this zone is zone of cell differentiation. The cells differentiate to give rise to tissues such as phloem, xylem, and of course epidermis and sclerenchyma. The phloem acts for transporting food from the leaves to the other parts of the plant. The xylem is used for transporting water from the roots to the other parts of the plant. The xylem also provides support. The xylem vessels have walls which are thickened by hard substances called lignin. The epidermis covers the surface of the plant and protects it. Sclerenchyma is made out of cells with thick lignins, which provide support for the plant. So this is what happens in the root tip. So remember, root cap, root meristem, which is the zone of cell division, zone of cell elongation, zone of differentiation, and of course, mature tissues are above. In the case of the shoot, the same thing happens, just that it is moving upwards. The zone of cell division is right at the tip, at the shoot meristem. As it grows, it will have elongation and differentiation, which will then become mature tissues such as phloem and xylem. So remember, for the shoot tip, zone of cell division starts from the top, elongation, differentiation, then mature tissue. For the root, it starts from the bottom. We will talk about secondary growth in our next video. See you.